Hello, fellow robots out there in internet land. I am Sobertron, and welcome to the next episode of Titancraft Season 8 here on Tango Tech's Patreon server. And as always, guys, if you want to join us here on this amazing journey, sign up now. Link in the description. Early days still. We're like 2.5-ish weeks in when I'm starting this recording. Probably going to come out right around the 3-week mark, so yeah, still early days. I've done a lot in between episodes. Something that I thought would take me a very long time. Well, let's back up a minute. You see that map behind me? Yeah, we did that last episode. We did an insane thing and mapped out our entire base for the season. You can see it is large. It is very, very large. This isn't even all of it. It goes many blocks in all directions. It's something like 750 blocks from like north to south. It's very huge. But the other thing we did was, in between, we finished our Cactus Farm. I went cross-eyed doing this, guys, and it gets very framey here. I wonder why. Maybe it could be the thousands of cactus breaking off. In total, 5,125 cactus in here. It's a little beefy, not as big as last season, but I don't know why. It's very framey when I look here. I also did this, and we're gonna talk about that in a little while. A little bit of redstone. It's just something I do every time I do a furnace XP farm, which is something we're gonna start in the first half of this episode. Before we move on to other things. But before I get started with that, I need to set up a beacon. I absolutely need to set a beacon way far north, because while I'm doing that, my friends are actually gonna work on something else that involves us putting another gigantic hole. You can see, guys, this place is really far out there. I need to put another gigantic hole right here. I'm not sure how big this one's going to be. Oh, well, there it is. It's going to be a little big. I just want to be able to fly in and out, so I'm going to clear out some water here, probably just with some sand, gravel, whatever. Place a beacon down so my friends can start digging. And then I'll come back and we'll start on the Furnace XP farms. I will kind of build like a slice, a module, just so you guys can see it, and I'll explain how it all works, because it's not a standard design. It's actually something Nexus came up with several seasons ago, and it works fantastically. So let me get that beacon in place, get the sand in and all that fun jazz, and I will be back over here in a minute. Frames! Jeez! So I just finished designing, or not designing, but putting up a mock-up of our Furnace XP farm, which we're going to get to in a few seconds. But I wanted to show you what I've been doing in addition to that. So Cash and I went hunting for a couple villagers. We found a village just a little bit that way, and there was actually only these 2 adults in it. There were a bunch of little babies, but only those 2 adults. So one of them became a farmer, and that nitwit is going to have the greatest life ever for a nitwit, just eating potatoes constantly. So it's been working for a little bit. We got a lot of villagers in here. I'm actually not even sure how many are in there. Looks like 13, but that could potentially be less. But we're going to need a lot. We're going to need a lot of villagers for what I have in store for this hole down here. So what we're going to put in this hole is some automated crop farms, and eventually we're also going to have a ton of farmers to trade those crops to, so we can get emeralds and we can get, you know, other things in the future. Hi, DJ. It's a face only a mother could love. So yeah, we've been digging out this hole for a little bit now. Not actually that long at all. It needs to go much deeper. What are we at now? We are at, where's our Y level? 12. We need to go down like another 22 blocks till this room's done. But we're going to have towards the top our actual trading room, where we're going to have a bunch of farmers and clerics, because I need a lot of redstone, and redstone is a bottleneck right now on the server. And then beneath that, we're going to have some automated carrot and potato farms that'll work their way into the trading hall. That way we can trade those to our villagers. And then we're also going to have some melon farms in here. I don't think I'm going to get to those today, because I haven't actually decided how I'm going to arrange it. Hopper minecarts work weird on servers. They don't like to unload unless a player is really close to them. I don't know why. So I might have to redesign some stuff, or not really redesign, but move it around so that those minecarts are closer to the player as they're being unloaded. But I'm getting way ahead of myself, and you know, we're not even going to get to that right now, because we got a Furnace XP farm to build. Because honestly, I need to do this thing so I can actually stop bone mealing all the cactus we're getting out of this thing, and I can start filling up the system. So what I've done is this mock-up over here so I can reference it, and so I can show you guys and explain how it all works. Inside this box right here is all the redstone bits I need. I needed a ton of iron. Actually, digging out that hole helped a ton with getting the last bit of iron I needed. So I'm going to grab that really fast. So this is the Furnace XP farm setup that we use. It was designed by our friend Nexus. We use it every season. It's done a couple variations over the years. Last season we added a bit more storage, and this season I'm actually adding even more storage for cactus. But let me explain how this works. Cactus will flow into this chain here into our furnace, and eventually bamboo will flow in here as our fuel. We will be building a bamboo farm in the near future. I just need a ton of slime to do it, and we don't have that right now. Anyway, once this furnace is done cooking, and that's measured by how much these kind of hold. So you can hold 9 items in there, 5 in there, and 1 in there. So once that is full, you can hit that button right there on the front of the furnace, and it sends a signal that this observer can detect. Now, once that observer detects it, it will fire that piston, which will break this redstone line. There is one bone meal, or one cactus was put in there, so it's got a slight redstone signal that is being detected by that comparator right there, and it's causing that piston to be extended. Now, once that line is broken, once that block gets pushed up, that redstone line will be broken, that piston will retract, and it will send a redstone signal through this piston into that observer, pushing it against this one, and a clock will form. And now, once that clock forms, this dropper will start spitting out all of its items, and there will be a lava source down there so that the items are destroyed right away. Now, once this dropper is empty, it is then detected by this comparator here, and all the stuff resets in our system. So essentially, more pistons fire, and all the fun stuff happens. That clock gets broken, so the items stop spitting out. And yeah, it's that simple. I'm going to stand here, so you guys, if you want to take a screenshot of what this looks like, there's no tutorial out there on this. It's all done by our friend Nexus. Let me get a couple angles so you can see which way these observers are facing. It's a great farm, and the reason we love this farm is because it spits out the items twice as fast as the other kind of tutorial farms that are out there. I just went under there so you can see that that observer was looking down. Sorry. But yeah, when I get back, this is all going to be done because I like to build this kind of in layers. So I'll start at the bottom and work my way up, and I'll do it all the way around this place. And then when I get back, I'll show you, I'll show you all of that stuff, and then I'm going to describe how this thing works. I've built these before as well, but I want to show you. There's going to be a few of these this season for various reasons and in various configurations. But essentially, this is like what we do with the excess cactus and turning it into bone meal and how we craft it up. It's a nice little ingenious system that fits in a relatively small footprint, and it does amazing things. So I'm going to shut up, I'm going to build, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. So it's taken me right around 3 hours to get this whole thing in place, and I know I said I was just going to cut right to it, and here we are. It went by fairly quick, just because I've done these so much in the past, and because it's relatively easy to do once you kind of get into a rhythm. As of right now, our cactus is coming up here. It's coming up that bubble raider right there on the other side of that glass. And the first 8 slices are all done, and I want to say it's actually slowly making its way, into, what is that, 8, 9, 10, 11. This has a lot extra storage than it needs. Like, I don't need these extra chests up here. So I might end up manually moving it to get all these farms going, so we can get access to the XP. For right now, I do have a couple of them running, burning blaze rods, because we had a ton of extra ones. But I wanted to explain the redstone that was on the back of this wall. What it does is, it essentially is putting the excess bone meal that we're going to be getting out of this cactus farm and automatically loading it into shulkers. So you can see I have all these composters here, this is honestly way too many. I don't know why I did that many. You probably can get away with like 3 or 4. But it automatically puts all the bone meal into shulkers. And then once it's full, this little circuit will detect that it's full, and it will break the shulker and put it into a water stream, ultimately ending up in that double chest right there. And then ultimately it'll find a home right in that spot where that shulker is. The reason we really like this setup is, 1, it's really kind of compact for what it does. And 2, I've built this one many times as well. So all you need to make sure you do is have a complete inventory space open. And so in this shulker right here, we're going to get bone meal. There's another shulker of bone meal right there. And when I empty this shulker, it's automatically going to dispense a fresh one for us to grab bone meal out of. There it goes. A little slow, but hey, TPS is what it is. Now, I would normally craft this up into bone blocks and periodically fill this shulker right here. That clicking you heard was the shulker being dispensed back up into the system. So I'm just going to test this for you guys to show you. As soon as this shulker is full, it's automatically going to break and dispense an empty one for us to do, and the full shulker will end up here. For right now, though, I'm going to grab all this because we need it for the next stage of our project today. I really do enjoy that little setup. Actually, let me check to make sure that shulker actually made it into the system. I didn't check it beforehand, and I want to make sure everything works. So there should be a shulker in here. Perfect! Perfect. We're not getting any bone meal right now, so that's fine. It's going to take many days. But Far to the north, our villager breeder that I showed you a little bit ago has been cranking. Cash and DJ and I have been digging out over here periodically. And yeah, we've got lots of villagers. This is probably not even enough. I need like 42 in total, and last I checked, there was about 30 here. But what I wanted to start right now was I was going to start the crop farms, but something kind of fortuitous has happened. One, we have this crazy, insane geode, right? All those buds, Cash cleared it out, so that's going to be amazing. But the other thing is that that chunk that this geode is in is also a slime chunk. So we need slime really bad. The public farm is not open yet. So we're going to dig this chunk all the way down to bedrock, and then probably install some kind of ceiling tray up here. That way we can get access to this geode. And then, yeah, hopefully we get some passive slime through this. I'm not looking for crazy insane rates, just looking to get access to a little bit of the stuff. And DJ's never done this before, so I wanted to show him how all this works. Oh, does it not replace basalt? That's kind of annoying. Okay, so we got to dig that out manually. See, testing. This is stuff I don't know. But yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to do this for a little bit. Hopefully we get a little rudimentary slime farm in here. And hopefully it starts producing. Because we're going to be AFKing here a lot once these farms are in. And I promise we're going to get to those as soon as we get done with this little side project that I did not plan for today. But yeah, I'll take what slime I can get. So, going to dig this out with DJ's help. That's what the hose are for. And I'll see you guys in a little bit. So our makeshift slime farm is all dug and complete. It hasn't spawned anything yet. I know this is a slime chunk 100% because earlier there was definitely a slime just below the geode when it was up at that level. So I think it just has to give it some time, and hopefully we'll be getting some here in the near future. Not that it's that big of a concern. It only took us about an hour and a half to dig that out with moss. So yeah, that's that. So now I really want to get to this project today, and we're gonna do the automated crop farms. I've got like kind of a design I just did using basic villager mechanics. Spacing is an issue though, so I want to be 8 blocks above the ground there, because eventually I got to do some redstone underneath this thing. So our first villager is going to be standing right here, and he's going to be in this kind of little 3x3 platform, but not really. So let's do that, and then we're going to have to trap him eventually, and we're just going to use some trap doors to do that, so he cannot get out. And you'll see in a little bit what else will go here. So there should be some of that. Eventually, these will actually get replaced by hoppers, though, because I need to run items from the upper levels of this farm to the lower levels, and yeah. So some of this is going to come out. So that's all done now. Let's get rid of that. And then these farms are probably not as big as they could be. I haven't played with villager mechanics when it comes to farms in a very long time, so I wanted to make sure that it was gonna be big enough, but not too big. So each of these farms is like a diamond shape out from this area. So diamond going out like that, coming back in, and it ends up being like a 3 wide point here. And there's gonna be a gap in between that. Initially I had torches on, but I think for right now I'm just gonna do that because the light level is good enough in there. What am I missing? I need trapdoors there. So basically what's gonna happen is our farmers in these farms are gonna harvest either carrots or potatoes. They'll see the villager in here and try to feed him, but they can't fit in this gap, so they're going to stop here and they're going to throw their food, and this will be a hopper here. So they throw their food, hopper eats it up, and then we get to do what we want with it rather than the villagers getting it. So it's a lot of just, yeah, mechanic stuff. So I have to do this. I'm going to come back when the first one is done, because I've got this idea for getting the villagers down here. I've been toying with, like, man, bubble baiters are going to be a pain, all that stuff. So we're not going to do that. We're going to do just some stupid vanilla mechanic that is amazing in the best possible way. So let me get these first 4 farms in. I'll show you a little bit more, and then we'll get those villagers down here in a really interesting, fun way that I'm sure other people could come up with too, but I'm very happy that I figured that I can do a thing involving some boats. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. So I've got the first 4 villager farm cells all in place. You notice the land isn't tilled in most of these, except for this one right here. What I want to do is I want to get these farmers in here one at a time, and I don't have composters in either because I noticed when I was designing this thing that sometimes the villagers would see a composter, but they couldn't necessarily get through the wall to get it, and then they would claim it. It was causing issues. So I want to put the composters in one at a time. As soon as I get a villager in their farm area, composter, let him get that farmer profession, and then I want him to start planting any crops he has on him. Some of these farms are going to be carrots, others are going to be potatoes, but those guys up there have been eating nominal some potatoes up top. So if he's going to end up in a carrot cell, I want him to get rid of all the potatoes from his inventory, not to screw up things later on, because I've got water streams and craziness going on down here that are very crop specific, and it'll mess things up. So I want to make sure I get rid of their entire inventory before they actually start planting the crop I want them to plant. Our breeder is doing a little too much work. I actually had to shut it off. I had some guys entity cram a little bit ago. They all clump up in that corner right there. Thank you, Logical Geek Boy, for your amazing farm design on this. I've been using it for years. It's been fantastic. So water should be flowing now. You guys are really loud, too. Let's not do that. Let's do that. So what I want to do is get this guy into a minecart right there, and then break the minecart and try to get this guy into a boat. Hopefully it works out really well for me. Let's see there. Let's get up here now. Hi. Hi. Thank you, game. Okay. He's probably not going to like me. There we go. Can you get in the boat now, please? In the boat. In the boat. In the boat. Can I get you in the boat, please? You want to go for a ride? You want to go? Come on, dude. What? You're gonna not. Don't drown. Don't drown, villager. Just get in the boat. It's where you want to be. I know you do. There you go. Good boy. Okay, now, to get down, all I gotta do is break that block, that block. I put those fence gates there, and now we should just be able to ride the lightning down and take 0 fall damage. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now, because all of them are going to land here, I think I actually want to get this guy into the farthest cropland. So let's break this open really fast just to get him in there. And now, actually, we can probably put the composter in here. Does he get a profession yet? No? Let's just boat you over there, dude. Come on. We're going for a ride. There we go. Okay, you're in your little forever home now. There we go. There we go. Let's break boat again. Do you see it? Yes, he sees it. Okay, perfect. Now, I want to till this land, because he probably has some potatoes in his inventory. And I just want to make sure. He's looking at it. He's thinking about it. Let's turn hitboxes off. I find hitboxes sometimes are great, and other times they are not so great, so. You gonna plant something for me, guy? Any day now. I know you probably got stuff in your inventory at this point. You've been sitting in that breeder forever. Okay, he's doing something. I don't know. These guys, I swears. I swears. Just do work, dude. Just do work. Anyway, I've got a lot more work to do. I got to get at least 4 more villagers down here and build up more farm. It's crazy. So hopefully I'll come back. Our first layer will be all done. Did you just do something? No, you just accessed your workstation. Okay. I'll be back in a little bit. It's going to be a couple hours to let all these crops go and make sure these guys are actually doing what they need to do. But we also need to work on a little bit, tiny bit of redstone underneath to make sure all the bits are going where they need to go. So I'll see you guys in a little while. So I waited 2 in-game days to make sure that this guy and his brother over there, that guy, didn't have any potatoes in his inventory, because that would have messed up a lot of the redstone that I just put in underneath. And somebody has decided to finally join us for the day and, you know, help us out with this farm. She's a little sus. I'm just going to say that right now. But we're making progress. We're starting work on level 2 now. And then eventually you can see, where is it? Where'd it go? There it is. 4 levels in total. So right now, 1, and then 2 there, 3 there, 4 there. A lot of farmers. Lots and lots of farmers are going to be had. But I've done a little bit of crazy redstone for right now. And it's not even done yet. But basically what's going to happen is all the crops are going to filter their way down to these hoppers here. Potatoes will be split here on the left. Carrots will go to the right. And then everything else is the same. So essentially they're going to come into this water stream, and there will be a shulker loader, or there is a shulker loader right over here. There's no shulker in it yet, but I need to add them here in a minute. So same thing I've been using like back at our Furnace XP farm to convert the bone meal, all that stuff. Shulkers will go in here. There'll be a double chest back there. I just didn't have any on me. That will recycle them through the system. And then once this shulker is full, it's detected by this comparator, sends a pulse through the system, causing it to break, enters this dropper, redstone fires again, and it'll go this way, and then ultimately up to the top where our little room is going to be to store all this stuff at. Now, I was thinking when I was designing this, I was thinking, what happens when that uh, dispenser that holds the shulkers is empty? How do I stop the crops from flowing? And the best way I can think to do it is by just burning it. So I'm going to add in another little circuit here that's going to pull a signal off of that same uh, dispenser that will allow us to fire that piston, which honestly should be on right now, but there's going to be another piston here that will also extend. So essentially they're going to flip states, and then the water stream will separate. So right now it doesn't look good because right now it's flowing both ways, but eventually it's only going to flow either this way or this way. So if there are shulkers in the system, the water will flow, items will be sorted fine. If there aren't any shulkers, that water is going to get blocked. This water will open up, and it'll just come down into a lava source. I could bone meal it, but I figure we're going to get a lot of it from the Cactus Farm anyway. And every season, we end up with tons and tons of shulkers that we don't need full of bone blocks because we just have so many of them. But yeah, for right now, I just got to finish up the other layers. It's going to take a little while. TPS has been on a bit of a struggle bus today. It's a weekend. Lots of players online right now. Actually, a restart just happened, and there was a lot more prior to that. Lots of players AFKing. But I'm gonna join my partner in crime here, give her a bunch of grief, and I'll be back with you guys as soon as all this is done, because I really want to start getting the room up there at least going. I might not finish it today. I want to get some villagers in there. That way we can start trading with these guys. So let me finish these other layers with Cash's assistance, and I will see you guys in a little while. With Cash's assistance, all 4 of our villager crop farm levels are now complete. Didn't take that long. A lot of rinse and repeat. Honestly, the biggest headache was making sure that the farmers in our carrot land didn't have any potatoes in their inventory, so we would wait a couple in-game days every time we got a farmer in here, so that he would plant what little potatoes he had, we'd get rid of them, and then we'd be able to make sure that he was only planting carrots. And it's working great. It's working very, very well. And while we were doing a lot of that, I also decided to build the room to house our future farmers, and probably clerics. I don't have the brewing stands in here yet, but I think I'm going half farmers, half clerics, because I'm going to need a lot of cyan dye, which means I need a lot of lapis. Or cornflowers, but I'm in an ocean. I don't have a flower forest by me. So, in between episodes, I'm probably going to come up here and fill this place up with farmers. And try to get a couple zombies in here, too, to convert them. We have a ton of carrots and a ton of potatoes working for us. But, this farm is a little slow despite its size because of TPS. You know, lots of people online, always. So, yeah, the less potatoes and carrots I need to use, the better. But in other news, our Furnace XP farm is ready for its first round of usage. What I did was I used all the blaze rods that DJ has gotten us. We had a lot of excess, and I just manually put in, I think, a stack and a half into each furnace. So that's the first furnace that gets filled up by Cactus here. This is the last one, and every single one is now ready for its inaugural use. So I've got a shovel that mostly needs repairing. I'm going to take everything else off, just to be sure. It's usually what I do. And oh, that's so beautiful. Remember to hit the button. That's what we want to hear. We want to hear the clicking. Oh, you know what? I forgot to put lava in, so I'm going to stand here and get all this stuff right here. Because, yeah, I'm a noob, and I forgot to do stuff. But it happens. I got to do that, too. I'll do that in between episodes, because I kind of forgot to do that. Oh, sober. Sometimes you just forget to do things. But that's it. I'm done. I got to tear that thing down, too. I've got a lot to do in between episodes. Holy crap. Anyway, until next time, you guys have a good one.